everyone hear me okay? Good. I've got some headphones in. I'm hoping they're going to make it through the class today. Hopefully that's coming in loud and clear. My name is Jamie. I'm covering for Kim today. And my understanding, this is our high intensity class. So that's what we're going to focus on today. We are going to work through a series of 8 different exercises. Most of them can be done in sitting as well. We have one exercise today that I'm going to challenge you with your chair to go down on the floor and to work on coming down to the floor and working back up. If you don't want to go on your knees, you don't need to do that. You can work on sit to stands from your chair and replace that. But I wanted to warn you, so if you wanted something for your knees, we are going to go down to the floor and work on that tall kneel and coming up. And whatever assistance that you need, you can go ahead and use that. So I wanted to give you some warning on that one because it is a higher intensity class. Focus. The other thing that you may want to help you participate a little bit more are if you have walking poles or an extra chair or a dowel like a broomstick, something that you can put your hands on to help you engage in those exercises a little bit more. I often use them for a few of the exercises where we might use the arms or to twist. That helps engage the arms, which also increases your intensity. So those would be helpful, I think. The other thing you could try to use if you want to keep those arms engaged is a towel. So if you don't have a towel, but something that causes you to use your arms will increase intensity today. Again, most of the exercises can be done in seated. I'll try to give you some alternatives. We're going to work in a circuit format of high work, high intensity. So every exercise will be high intensity, and then we'll work for 1 minute, and then we will do a low intensity exercise, whether it's sidestepping or marching in place or marching in your chair or moving your arms, and then we'll go right back into that 1 minute of work. We have 8 consecutive exercises. I'm going to go through those during our warm-up, kind of use them as our warm-up, and then we're going to go through the same exercises for our hard work. Okay, so that's kind of the format. The goal will be to move for 40 minutes straight today. Going high intensity, low intensity. We'll take a minute break for each round of 8. We're going to go through that cycle 8 times. That's my plan anyway today. So for our warm-ups, I am going to introduce to you the exercises just so that you can gauge how much assist and how might you adapt those for yourself. So the first one, we're just going to work on a sit to stand. So for our warm-up, we're going to lean forward. We're going to take this apart. So leaning forward. A really nice thing to use for a stretch forward is your stick, and that allows you to stretch forward and come back up. So we're going to start into our warm-up. Forward and back and forward. Really feeling that in your low back and in your shoulders, maybe your upper back and back. One more time. Holding that, stretching. Should feel good. If you have a wider stance, you'll feel it in your hips a little bit more. And now we're going to go ahead. So if you're seated, go ahead and just keep moving forward. If you are able to do some sit to stands, we're going to push that forward and come up 1. And I want you to go down slowly. Come back. We're going to do 5 of these. And forward, stretch, go up slow. And slow on the way down. There's 2. So this is going to be our first activity of the circuit. is doing some sit to stands, but here we're just going nice and slow, just warming up those muscles. Think about your range of motion. I think that's 3 or 4. Therapists are terrible counters. I don't know if you've encountered that. Let's do one more sit to stand. So that will be our first exercise of the circuit, is that sit to stand. Our second exercise of the circuit is going to be some high knees. So again, take your chair, take a pole, and we're just going to work on bringing one knee up and holding that. Again, go ahead and hold on to a chair or a counter to bring that up if you want to. Just kind of bring that knee up, circle that ankle. High knees will be our second exercise. If you're in your chair, it can look like this. Just bring those knees up. Good, bring those knees up. We like stretching the hips out. So whether you do this in sitting or standing, it's a good one. I'm going to go back to standing, try to bring another one if you want to work on your balance a little bit. You can do that. You work those ankles out a little bit. I'm going to switch sides, bring it up. A little bit of balance, but just waking those muscles up. Let's do one on either side. If you're seated, whoa, I lost my balance. I'm on carpet. I got one leg on carpet, one leg on solid. Good. The other side, bring that up. Oh, that feels so good. Great. All right, so that's going to be our second exercise in the circuit. The next warm-up we're going to do is a lunge. So your lunge can look lots of different ways. If you're using a chair, for a stretch this morning, we're going to lunge forward. Again, you can use your poles or your chair. Get your toes facing forward. Feel the stretch in that back part of the leg. And you're going to bend that front knee a little bit. Just really feel in that back leg the stretch in the front of the hip or the stretch in the back of the calf. Whew. Just some deep breaths here. And holding this, looking upright. While we're here, why don't you just turn your head side to side? Let's get that neck moving side to side, nice and easy. Looking side to side. Nice and slow. It's important to move the head and the eyes. All right, I'm going to switch sides. So I'm going to take my right foot back. It really doesn't matter what foot. I'm holding on so I can concentrate on that stretch. My back leg, my toes are facing forward. Stretching through that hip. If I'm seated, I can do this in seated as well. All you do is turn to the side and drop that leg. And while you're here, let's turn that head side to side. It might get your balance a little bit. That's okay. Warming up that neck. We don't turn the head enough. I was just volunteering at a local elementary school, and my little kiddo that I work with wanted to go on the merry-go-round. I hadn't been on a merry-go-round in years. I got off that thing, I could hardly stand up, which means I'm not moving my head enough. Good. All right, so lunges will be in our circuit. Okay, the next one, we're going to do some floor touches. So again, you can use your chair as support or your pole. And I want you to go down, and you might even try this in sitting. This might be a better one for us to do in sitting. Taking that pole, reaching forward, and just stretching those hips out a little bit. Again, you can move your head side to side. This is a nice traction for the neck. Feeling those hips. Can you get to the floor? If you can't, go just to your elbows or just lean forward, what feels comfortable. The exercise that's associated with this in the circuit is our, we're going to go to the ceiling and then go down and try to touch the floor and standing today. So lots of range of motion. I'm just going to come up and stretch. Maybe bring that down and forward. I'm going to try to get to the floor today. My back's a little sore. Again, you can stay here. If you're standing, you can practice that, getting to the ground. Usually I have to bend my knees. Good. Okay. Let's try one more of these and then we'll get into our circuit. Let's go ahead and try some twists. Again, I'm going to use the pole today to engage my hands, but you don't need to. You can punch. And so I'm going to take that pole and I'm going to push and try to get that pole so it faces the back wall. So I twist. I'm holding that. My eyes are moving to the back wall or wherever I can get them. I'm going to come to the center. We're going to push and twist. Trying to get that pole or my hands facing the back. If not, you can just work on twisting. And if you're seated, it looks the same. Work on twisting. Good. And you can kind of come to the middle again and twist using that pole or not. And let's do 5 in a row. So 1 and 2. Notice I'm twisting on that foot. And 3. Just feels good to twist. And 4. Good. And 5. Okay. All right, so I feel a little warmed up. We're going to go ahead and go through each exercise. I just want to show you. Make your adaptations as you need to. I'll try to show a standing option and a seated option. So the first exercise in the series of 8, I'm already getting warm. So the first exercise, our sit to stands, our favorite. How I make that more intense is by using a pole. So coming down and pushing up, we're just going to go straight up. So you can try a pole to engage those arms. If you want a little more intensity, I know these look really big. They're about 5 pounds, or my husband said. You can push with weights, okay? So that's going to be our exercise 1. Exercise 2, our high knees. So again, you can work on using that pole, or you can use a weight to make that more intense. Another way you can do that is to use the pole to help you bring your knees higher so you're meeting the pole in the middle. This will challenge your balance a little bit more. So lots of ways to do that one. So try that one. What do you want to do? You can, if you're seated, okay, you can bring those knees up. The third one is going to be lunging. And so a couple different ways you can do this. Again, you can have your pole or your chair coming through, tapping, coming up. And we'll stay on, you can alternate legs or you can stay on the same leg. But you're going to come through, take that step. Even if you don't feel like you can step very big, I don't have to step very big. Coming down, just so that my feet are staggered. Taking a step. If you're seated, it looks like this. Forward and up, forward and up. We're looking for great range of motion here. So we go forward and up. So try that one. Okay, the next one is our floor transfer. So decide what you want to do here. Coming down, I'm going to use my chair, pushing up. This is really going to challenge heart rate. It doesn't matter how many you do. If you're in the chair, your other choices are to do a sit to stand again, because you never can do too many of those. Or if you're in a chair, we're going to do a power up. Power up. So those are your options. There's floor, do sit to stands, or do a power up. And I'll give those options. Okay, floor touches. So that's again, standing, getting down to that floor, up, down to that floor, up. Go to where you feel comfortable. If you're seated, to the floor and up, floor and up. Our kayak is our next one. So stepping, twist, stepping, twist, stepping, twist, a little bit of balance, a little bit of head turn. If you're seated, looks like this. You're just paddling. This is a nice whole body motion. You can put water bottles or weights in your hands. It doesn't matter. So you could hold on and paddle. Okay. All right. And then we've got a modified sit to stand. So this one's going to work on a little bit of asymmetry. So you're going to take a step one direction, stand up, sit back down, bring those feet together, take a stand to the other direction, stand up, and notice, so I'm standing kind of weird. It's a different way to do sit to stand. It's like getting out of a car, getting out of the bathtub, getting out of a restaurant chair. So we'll do a modified sit to stand. If you're seated, we're just going to work on stepping. Shouldn't say just, because we'll use those arms. And then we're going to work on some cross punches, similar to what we did in where we're going to push that pole or push those weights. Okay? So I will let you know each of those as we go. It's 1 minute of hard work. So work hard for 1 minute. I'll keep you abreast of where we are in that 1 minute. And then your low intensity is a side step. Just don't stop moving. So your low intensity helps you regulate that heart rate, gives you that break you feel like you might need. If you're in seated, you can do arm circles, or you can step side to side, or you can march. All right, so remember, the first 2 or 3 minutes are going to seem horrible while your body gets used to exercising. So don't give up, just work through that. You can stop at any time. Or you can skip around if you feel like you need to. On a scale of 1 to 10, we're looking for you today to work at 7, 8. 7, 8. So if you feel like range, I'm at a 7 or 8. That's what we want to see. Okay? So we're going to get started. I will give you a longer rest after the 8 exercises, and then we're going to go right after it again. So the goal today is heart rate and intensity. All right, so here's my timer. We are starting with sit to stands. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Let's work. So up. Get those arms involved. That helps increase the, if you're seated, just looks like this. I'm already short of breath. But your body takes time to get used to the increased workload you're making it do, so it feels really, ugh. Oh, I'm so short of breath. But your body will adjust when it knows you're not done working. We have about 30 seconds left. 30 seconds left. First 3 rounds, first 3 exercises are always the toughest. So pace yourself, take your time. If this were easy, we'd have 3 million people on viewing this today. So not everybody's doing this today, but you're here. So 3 seconds. Good. All right, low intensity. So side step, Move those arms. Catch your breath. Take a sip if you need to. Our next one is high knees. So however you want to adapt that for yourself. You can use the poles. I think I'm going to try a weight, just a 5-pound weight overhead. As I do this, here we go. High knees. Can look like this. I would rather see you have more range of motion using the poles than not. So I'd rather have you be able to work harder with some balance assist. If you're seated, looks like this. I promise to tell you my heart rate after that third round. You can hear my breathing. Alan, I know you were up for this exercise today. You didn't know I was going to be here today. Alan and I used to exercise together a long time ago. 20 seconds. Woo. Here we go, 15 seconds, almost there. This is a tough one. They're all tough. Three, two, one. Okay, low intensity. Side step. We've got 30 seconds here. Our next ones are the lunges. So again, if your balance is off, hold on. I'd rather have you lunge and work deeper with the poles than move less without them. So sit and get large range of motion, or use your poles, or hold on. Here we go. Lunge. If you're not worried about balance and you can lunge, come down and up, or one arm comes down. This is a combination of balance, coordination, and endurance. If you're seated, looks like this. Think about range of motion. Use the poles or use your assist to get more range so you can work with more intensity. When you feel safer, I know you work harder. It's just the way we all are. 20 seconds. Ran out of space here. 20 seconds. Woo! Can you touch that knee down? 6 seconds here. Stick with this one. Okay. Woo! I need that break. 30 seconds. All right, we are transitioning to those floor transfers. So grab your chair if you need it. If you don't, that's okay. If you're seated, you're just doing power ups, or you can do sit to stands again, or you can go to the floor. 5 seconds. I'm going to try not to use the chair. Or if you feel like you want that assist, it is fine. Just go to here. Doesn't matter. Take your time. These do not have to be fast. This is a whole body work against gravity. This is a ton of work. But one of the most functional things you can do to see how am I doing with my strength and range of motion. We've got 23 seconds left here. If you're in your chair, you're doing power ups or sit to stands. They're all working good. 6 seconds here. Whew, excellent. Rest. We'll go back to our 30 seconds. I'm going to take a sip. All right. This is our modified sit to stand. This is where we step to the right, come up, back down, in the middle. Step to the left, up. Keep your feet wide as you stand. If you're seated, you're sidestepping. back down, middle, step to the left, up. Doesn't that feel different than if you're just doing a straight sit to stand? If you're seated, you're just sidestepping. Don't worry about the whole stand thing. Sidestep, up, back to the middle, sidestep, up. We have to practice sit to stands with our feet in lots of different positions because, you know, honestly, we rarely have our feet parallel when we stand up. So it's good to practice sit to stands with our feet in different positions. You've only got 10 seconds left here. I'm trying to trick you with conversation. One more. Woo, that's a doozy. All right, side step, low intensity. We're already to 8 exercise already. We're gonna do side punch. So either with weights or with your pole. Side punch is our next one. But I'm gonna take my 5-second low intensity rest here. All right, here we go. Punching that diagonal, whether you're seated or standing, we want that diagonal. If your shoulders hurt you, just go side to side or just below shoulder level. So I'm gonna stand up. Really think about squatting in the middle. Can you come up off that toe? Can you go to single leg? Those of you who need more of a challenge. Whew. We are only at 25 seconds. Let's go. This is a tough one. Anytime I add weights. Whew. Think about how hard you're working this round. Are you in that 7 or 8 or 9? We got 9 seconds here. These are all functional movements. Whew. Okay. Let's rest here. Side step. Think about your number. Where are you? I'm in a 7. Show me your numbers. Okay, I see 6. All right. 7. I see 8. That's awesome. Keep sidestepping. Catch your breath. Grab a drink of water. Yep, walk around, Cheryl. That's good. I like it. All right, William's moving. That's good. Fantastic. All right, Paul's moving back and forth. Excellent. Okay. Another 30 seconds here. Round number 2. So, did you do better than you thought? I bet you did. So what can you do this time to get you one more intensity level? Can you go further? Can you add some weight? All right, we are back to sit to stands. I'm going to try some weight this time to get to my 9. Here we go. Sit to stands. Or if you're in your chair, push forward and back. Forward and back. Sit to stand. Woo. It doesn't take much. You add 1, 2, 3 pounds in those hands or a bottle of water. It doesn't take much. We're at 30 seconds. Everyone is looking beautiful. We already got 1 round done already. Hopefully it didn't feel too bad. 20 seconds here. Definitely feeling it in my shoulders, in my legs. I don't like to do aerobic exercise by myself, so it's a great class. 5 seconds. I'd rather be suffering along with you all. All right, low intensity. High knees are next. High knees are next. So whatever you need to make sure you can get higher knees. If you're really up for it, my back doesn't like those, so I don't do those. But Thinking about pulling down. You've got 5 seconds. Take your rest. Here we go. You can use again, this is a little balance, coordination. You include those arms, you're going to feel your heart work more. That's what the pole offers us. I'm not sensing my heart is getting used to this yet. I don't know about you. I don't know if it's because it's the end of the week. We got 30 seconds left here. But I love the hard work I'm seeing. Yeah, if you're seated, you know, something like this, or tap side to side. Try to get those arms involved, even if it's this. This is another way. Keep going. 4 seconds here. We get that low intensity side to side. Woo. All right, lunges are next. Lunges are next. I'm starting to settle my zone. I'm at about, wow, my eyes deceive me. I can't know my readers on. 124 is my heart rate. So those of you who wear a smartwatch, that's a good indicator. Here we go, lunging, reaching down, coming up, lunging, or just stepping, whatever works for you is the challenge. If you can do this without poles, looks like this. Some of you are doing that, beautiful, a little bit of balance. If you're seated, looks like this. Aerobic exercise is the number one thing we can do, not only if I have Parkinson's, but anybody. So important for people with Parkinson's. Makes your medications work better, makes your mood better, makes us feel accomplished because it's hard work. We're suffering together or living together, if you want to put up that positive spin on it, doing something good for yourself. Woo! Okay, side to side. Oh yeah, I'm almost to 130. All right, we're up to floor transfers again. Getting to that floor, knees to floor, or sit to stand, or power ups. You choose the level of challenge you want today. I'm going to stick to the floor. 6 seconds. Here we go. You can use that chair for as much assist as you want. If you can go up, great. That whole body extension is so important. All of us are flexed way too much in life, looking at our phones, at the TV, at dinner. Whew. We are 25 seconds left here. Take your time with this. I'd rather have you get 3 or 4 in for that whole minute than not at all. It just, whatever challenges you. 10 seconds left here. And rest. Excellent. Sidestepping, relaxing. Deep breaths in, long exhales out will help you feel like you're controlling your breathing better. All right, we are going down the river, so grab your kayak, paddle. We're kayaking, so it's a step with almost like a little lunge step with a twist. So thinking down, down. A little bit of twisting motion, which is so important. If you're in your chair, you're paddling your canoe. I don't care how that looks. Last summer, I actually paddled upstream. I'll never do that again. Supposedly the river wasn't supposed to be that fierce. It was very, very hard work. So if you want more challenge, dig deeper as if you're going down the rapids. Really dig deep. We're at 15 seconds left already. Such good body motions, motions that we use every day. We step and reach down all the time. Whew. That's why I've chosen the exercises we have, because these are all pretty functional. So why not get an aerobic exercise workout on things that you're going to use every day? Whew. Okay, next one. Oh, sit to stands, left and right. Sit to stands, left and right. Use your poles if you need to, but that looks like this. Stand up. I'm going to try my weight. So seated looks like this. Come back. Standing, step. Keep those feet apart. Reach up in that diagonal. Together. Step the other direction. Up to that diagonal. Keep those feet apart. You should feel like you're weight shifting from one foot to the other, as if you're reaching into a closet, grabbing clothes. If you're seated, getting clothes off the bed, reaching for that pillow on the couch or magazines. 15 seconds here. I always like to know how much time I have left to work hard. Hopefully you'll notice your body is loosening up a little bit and relax. Feeling like you're moving a little bit better. I know I feel that way. Got a pretty stiff back this morning. Okay. Last one in this round. Holy moly. Cross punches. So whatever that looks like to you. If you want more of a challenge, do that boxer squat. Squat. Get ready. Punch. Ready. Punch. If you're in your chair, looks like this. I'm going to try my weights again. Let's go. So I'm going to squat, punch. That mini squat, so good. Punching up in that diagonal works your extensor muscles. We talked about being too flexed forward, bending forward. Anytime you are looking up with your eyes, so try to get your eyes to follow your hands. We have 30 seconds to go. This last one, we get another longer break. And then I'm going to ask you again, what's your rate of exertion? 1 to 10. I saw nobody put a 1 up, so that was good. 15 seconds here. I feel like things are getting hard. I think round 3 is going to be challenging for us. 6 seconds here. Woo! All right, we're going to take a nice long work here. Breath. Keep moving. Get your drink. Get your drink. I'm going to ask you again, what's your number? I think I'm closer to an 8. An 8 this time. What are people saying? What can you show me once you get your drink of water? Anybody at 8? We got 1 minute. I'm going to give you 1 more minute. Lower that down. Keep moving. Anybody at an 8? Is that 9? Is that Nora Lynn? Is that 9? Sweet. We can't be afraid to work hard. That is awesome. We have 40 seconds. Catch your breath deep. Let me see if I can see other people here. And you know your body best. So, be kind. You know your body best. And it's all about being here in a group. Doug, what'd you get? What's your number, Doug? 7. I'll take it. Nice work. Nice work. Will, what do you got for me? How hard are you working, William? He's still moving. Paul, what do you got? All right, let's ramp that up. Here we go. Sit to stands. Are we ready? Let's go. Here we go. Last round. Last round. Let's go. This is our time to push. We've made it 2/3 of the way together. You're up in that 6, 7, 8 range. That's awesome. And if you're new to higher intensity exercise, it can be really tough. Keep going. We're off a little bit. A little bit longer work here. I'm going to drop my weights because I can't breathe. Woo. Looking up, use those eyes. If you need to slow down your pace, that's okay. If you're seated, forward, up, slow down. Open those hands if you can. Let's include some of those hands. All right, we're going to go just 15 seconds longer, and then I'm going to give us a longer break because I'm off on my timer a little bit. So this was a little bit longer. 5 seconds here, and then a nice, we'll give a 45-minute break, or 45-second break. Okay. All right, low intensity. Keep moving. All right, what's next? Who remembers? All right, we're officially on our rest time. I'm back on track. 30 seconds here. What's next? Who remembers? I know, I got my cheat sheet here. That's not fair. High knees are next. High knees. What can you do here? I'm going to try to do more reps to increase my intensity. Get ready to work. 4 seconds. Here we go. Oh, hey, okay. Sis Dream, she's an 8. I love it. I see that in the chat. Good job. I think I missed it last time. Woo! And then what's important to remember is to think about, how do you feel the rest of the day? Yes, you're going to feel tired immediately. And yeah, you might need your 20-minute nap. But how is your mood? How are your non-motor symptoms? How's your thinking? Are you a little happier after exercising? Those are the things to remind you why we work so hard. So I really want you to get done with this session, or any exercise session you do, and ask yourself, how do I feel? Sometimes it's nice to journal. Is all this hard work worth it? It's helpful to know that. So side step, lower intensity. Now, I don't know if that's right. My heart rate says 140. That's sometimes those watches, I don't feel like it's 140, but. All right, we're lunging, reaching between those legs. So it's really important to help yourself remember, how do you feel when you're done exercising? I love keeping a log, especially when I try something new, because then I can look back and say, I don't feel like exercising today. I have more back pain, or I'm just not motivated. But when you look back at that log and you see, wow, I had a good day after I exercise, that helps you stay motivated. I definitely know when I don't exercise. I'm grumpy, I'm foggy. I have nothing to blame it on but age. So we know that people who don't exercise, they age faster. That's some new research that's coming out. We have 15 seconds here. Lunge down, up, down, down. Helps you sleep better. Whew. Good, sidestepping. All right, floor transfers are next. Your choices are power ups. Okay, so power up. Another round of sit to stands, because you can never do too many of those. And on the floor. We have 10 seconds. If you exercise aerobically, There are times when research has told us that people can actually lower their Parkinson's meds through aerobic exercise. So the research tells us that. So that, I know everyone's concerned about being on too many Parkinson's meds because of side effects. So imagine, you know, what your body would be doing if you weren't here today. So I'm very proud to be here with you today. One of the reasons I love working with people with Parkinson's is because of the hard work. Everyone's such hard workers. Everyone's a warrior, no matter what they're dealing with. All right, 15 seconds. Last time we got to do these. Woo! My hips are feeling more flexible. I don't know about you all. Good. Low intensity, sidestepping. All right. I think we're kayaking. And I think we've been skipping. We skipped one exercise. Let's put this one in. Last 2 rounds, I didn't add it. It's the floor, reaching down to the floor. I missed that one. I'm sure some of you mathematicians caught it. So we're going to take that pull, going to reach down and up. So thinking about the floor or to your knees, reaching down. Can you get to that floor to pick up your grandchild's toy, a pill? Whew. My watch just told me I hit my intensity goal today. That's invigorating. Picking up my socks, picking up my laundry, which I hate doing laundry. Rubbing my dog, petting my dog, giving him dog food. 20 seconds left here. We are so close to achieving our goal today. So close. If you're seated in your chair, touch those toes up, or shins up. Woo! Okay. Side step. All right, last trip down the river. Let's beat those rapids. We have 10 seconds. We only have 3 more exercises. Perfect timing. Here we go. Let's paddle. Boom. If you can get down a little further, that will increase the intensity and challenge your balance. If you're seated, leaning, driving, pushing through that floor with your feet and your heel. You pull that heel in. All right, I'm going to go back to kayaking. Woo, or paddling, whatever you prefer. My canoers out there. We have 25 seconds. And that after this, it'll only leave us with 2 more activities. My windows are steaming up in my office. I should have opened the windows. 7 seconds here. Woo. Woo, sidestepping. All right, we have left and right sit to stands. Left to right sit to stands. And if you notice, there's a lot of the power moves in these exercises. So although we haven't explicitly done power moves, there's a lot of that in this. All right. Sit to stand, step one way, push up. Big step together, other way, push up. If you're seated, you're stepping to the side, pushing to that diagonal together. Step. You can just do one side if you feel like you need a little break. I just hit hit my prints there, my brain prints. I love the brain. I love your brains. You should love your brain. You do love your brain because you're here. All right, we have 17 seconds left. Only one more exercise after this. And it's a nice seated cool down. All right, low intensity, side step or move those arms. Last one, punching. I suppose you could put my face on a target if you want to. I got thick skin. Punching Parkinson's, punching your frustrations, whatever that looks like. For me, it's punching paperwork. All right, this is it. Your last 1 minute. Come on. Last 1 minute. Spread those legs out. Bend those knees. Keep that athletic stance. If you're seated, looks like this. Nice big weight shift, a nice twist. If you need to go low because of your shoulders, go low. It doesn't matter. I feel like I'm petering out a little bit. You only got 25 seconds. Let's do this together. We're at 20 seconds. We can do this. You can do this. 15 seconds. Come on. Ramp it up. 10 seconds. That's why I love circuits. Woo! Holy cow. Don't sit down. Don't stop moving. We have 1.5 minutes. Check your heart rate. I'm at 130. Give me your number. Last time around. I'm definitely at an 8. Yeah. Excellent. I see. Oh, good, William. Awesome. Awesome. I see Paul's got it. Who else has got numbers here? Doug, what you got? I'm picking on you. What's your number, Doug? Yeah, good. Excellent. 5. Nora Lynn, where are you? Sweet. 7. I'll take it. Beautiful. That's who I can see here. Anybody else I missed? I think we got all the people. Cheryl, where are you at? You're like singing in the rain there. 7. Sweet. Well, I know that's... Who else am I missing? Get everybody. Ruth, what'd you get? Is that 8? Sweet. Nice. And Joella, I can't see Joella. Oh, there she is. 7. I love it. Excellent. Keep sidestepping. You should notice it's a little easier to breathe. Slow that sidestepping down. We're going to go another 30 seconds here, really making sure your heart rate is dropping. I'm just going to turn this off. We're going to give ourselves another 30 seconds here. You can move those arms, slow it down. Deep breath in, and then a really long exhale. So in, force yourself to exhale long. That will help slow your heart rate. So breath in, long exhale. Good. If you feel like you still need to come down with that heart rate, that's okay. Let's go ahead and use those arms if you want to bring one across. And just stretch that upper back with all the overhead stuff that we did today with the pulls or your weights or just you putting your hands over your head. That upper back can feel a little sore in those shoulders. Let's give that a nice roll back. And if this hurts to have your whole arm back, just do your elbow. Sometimes having that whole arm back hurts the shoulder. You can just do your elbow. And let's bring that arm the other direction, just nice and easy. I have an impingement on my right shoulder, so doing full arm circles isn't great. So if you've got some shoulder issues, sometimes the elbow roll works better. All right, let's switch to the other side. So that arm across, kind of holding, should be feeling it in the back here. Keep breathing, maybe sidestepping. I have a squeaky wood floor here. I don't know if you can hear it or not. Whew. All right, let's do some of that arm roll back. Nice and easy. Think of you, do you feel like you're a little more mobile? Do you feel like you're less tense or less rigid? Again, remember, really reflecting back. How do you feel the rest of that day? Let's switch directions. Roll that shoulder. Can you link your exercise to things that you're feeling better about? That's so helpful for motivation. All right, just gonna go in and out nice and slow. We're getting ready to sit and stretch the hips out. And open. And open one more time here. Hug yourself and open. Good. Okay, let's go ahead and sit if you're up for that. And let's stretch out those hips. We did a lot with the legs today, a lot of sit to stands. A therapist hasn't yet told you that's one of their favorite exercises. You haven't met the right therapist yet. For April, I'm happy to say my students who run our exercise class here in Mount Pleasant, we have an in-person exercise class for people with Parkinson's and other seniors. We have about 35 members that come to our exercise class, kind of give or take throughout the month. We did 19,000 sit to stands. So that includes not only at home, but also in our class. So we had people record how many sit to stands they did. And last year we reached about 15,000. This year we started a little bit earlier. 19,000 sit to stands. That is pretty impressive for Parkinson's Awareness Month. Push down on that knee, lean forward. I'm very proud of that group. I get a lot of flack for that, but that's okay. You can't be a PT without tough skin. Good. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Let's stretch that same foot out. Lean forward. Be careful. Don't tip forward. Leaning, try to look up like as if you're looking about 6 feet in front of you. That will help keep you from rounding out your back. You're going to feel this in the back of your hamstrings here, or right in the hamstrings, back of your leg. Can you hit your knee? Can you get to mid-shin? Can you get that toe? If you need more of a stretch, can you bring those toes up? Kind of walk yourself down. Keep looking about 6 feet in front of you. It's a nice neutral position for the neck. Helps us keep those backs straight as we stretch to really target the hamstrings. Good. Let's switch that leg. Again, you'll probably notice one side is tighter than the other. That's not unusual for anybody with or without Parkinson's. This is definitely my tighter side. Let that knee hang there. You're going to feel that probably through the side of the hip or maybe in the back of the fanny. Gently push down on that knee if you want a little bit more of a stretch. Sometimes just laying the arm on there is enough to stretch those muscles a little bit more. Keep breathing, letting that heart rate come down. Good work today. I'm going to lean forward a little bit on my forearms. Taking those deep breaths. I'm looking 6 feet in front of me. Keeping my back straight a little bit. I can't go much further than this, so I'm just going to stay here. Nice deep breaths in. Long exhales out. Good. Let's bring that leg down. Straighten that leg in front. I like this, your other leg out just to stabilize. Leaning forward, again, 6 feet forward, looking my eyes. I also cannot get as far on this leg. So again, you might find that's true. One leg gives you more problems than the other, whether it's from Parkinson's or some other issue. I feel I can get to my knee. Can't quite get to my toes. I'm pretty tight. But if we don't stretch it, it's not getting any better, right? So deep breath in, release that out. Beautiful. Come on up. All right, let's bring those feet wide. Little stretch down. We are almost done here. Or go to your elbows. Let's do some breaths in. So breathing in. In. One more. In. And you did it. Excellent job today. Thanks for sharing your morning with me.